Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box, where today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And Martin Luther King Jr. is someone about whom so much music has been composed and performed, and there's a reason for it. Martin Luther King Jr.'s life and tragic death took place in an era of mass communication and of great cultural renaissance for his people, the black men and women of America. And because of the disproportional output of wonderful music by Black Americans, there is a huge output of instrumentals, classical compositions, avant-garde songs of all genres, music, call it what you will, of all genres about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And we could focus on as many as we want, but I want to focus on one of my personal favorite songs about Martin Luther King Jr. And this is a song called Martin St. Martin from the Fire on Ice album by one of my very favorite musicians of all time, Terry Collier. Now, Terry Callier was an absolute virtuoso. He was a virtuoso songwriter, which is a term we don't hear a lot, but his songs, his compositions were so harmonically and rhythmically and chordally complex, and yet so deeply beautiful. It's as though he couldn't compose anything ugly or grating if he tried. They were ethereal. They had a spiritual overtone. And I'm just talking about the instrumental qualities of the music, let alone the lyrics, because Terry was, of course, a guitar player with a really classical level of skill and wonderful, wonderful vocalist. And all of his albums are great, from his debut in 68 to Occasional Rain in 72 to my personal favorite, What Color Is Love from 72. But the album from 1978, Fire on Ice, was again a wonderful album with wonderful musicians on it. And the final track on this album is this wonderful tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And Terry just sings it and plays it absolutely beautifully. Now, being someone who sort of drifted between jazz and folk and avant-garde and pop, because all of these are sort of good ways to describe who Terry Collier was musically, he took a break from the music industry in the early 80s, both to spend time with his family, but perhaps more uniquely to study computer programming at a time when this wasn't really the kind of vocation that was as common as being a coder is today. But by the 90s, he did get back into performing music live before his sad death in the year 2012. Now, luckily for you, this album and most of his albums, virtually all, are on your Spotify's and your Apple's and your everything else's. So I would highly encourage you to listen to this song on this day of all days, but on any day, and really explore the back catalog of Terry Collier, because he is such a wonderful musician who musicians know and love, but he doesn't perhaps get the recognition he deserves outside of the musical community. So definitely check him out and have a wonderful day on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.